Hey y'all, it's Ash. Today I am going to be talking about why I regret becoming an attorney. I want to preface this by saying that, in the grand scheme of things, I don't regret becoming an attorney per se. I'm really grateful to, have completed that education and the bar exam and passing and all that stuff. I really am grateful because I know I can help people with that qualification, right? And there's just a lot of potential to help people, and I really enjoy having that knowledge and the ability to do lawyering, right? That being said, I don't know that knowing what I know now, I would choose the same path, honestly. And the first reason for that is just the cost of it. Personally, I had my college completely paid for, but I did go get a master's degree, which is not required to become an attorney, at least not in the US, but I did get a master's in cybersecurity law to see if I liked it, to get some, recommendations, that sort of thing. And then law school was supposed to be 75 grand with my scholarship, which was like a 50% scholarship. So I think, you can do the math, but I think that's pretty low, I would say, for law school. And I did do a hybrid online in-person law school, so that may have been a little bit less, but I'm not entirely sure. However, the law school I went to, it wasn't necessarily what they called the predatory law school, but they definitely had a lot of hidden fees and hidden costs. And then also you have to buy your books, and I did not sell most of my books back. So that was, another couple $1,000s. So my student loans are very high. Not the highest I've ever seen for sure, but they're very high. And I think I don't know that it was worth it for me, just because of, my lifestyle and my life, which is the second reason I regret becoming an attorney. I don't really need to work, and I would probably just be in a better position financially. My husband and I would be, if I didn't have student loan payments, right? And I did pay some of my, tuition cash. I paid cash for some of my books and stuff, but not all of it. So I do still have substantial student loans, and because I don't need to work, but we could potentially be in a much better financial position if I didn't have, those student loans. It's just not worth it for me. So, between, where my husband is at, our life, living on a farm and doing that sort of thing and having that be my focus, for me, right now, it's not worth it. I know that, God wouldn't have put me in this position if he didn't have a plan for me. And there's a reason that I made it through law school and the bar exam, and that I'm a licensed attorney. I just haven't seen it yet. It's been probably a year or two since I got licensed, and just not a lot has happened that has made it worth it yet. And also just the law doesn't work the same as you think it does in law school. Particularly family law. I was really excited about family law. I was just really passionate about it and in law school. And I got out, and my first case was family law. And based on my understanding and knowledge of the law, the case did not go the way that I believe it should have. And I talked to other family law attorneys, learned that's very frequently the case. And I'm kind of like, why did I learn all this if we aren't going to follow the law? And yeah, I just kind of lost faith and hope in the justice system. And I think my passion probably lies more in reforming the law and changing the law than it does in practicing law. So maybe that's what I'll end up doing. But I, as much as I love the law and I love knowing it and I find it interesting, how it is in practice, I don't love. Because a lot of people don't, follow the law. And a lot of decisions that are made aren't consistent with the law. So, yeah, that's all. I'm trying to be really vague about that, but yeah, even doing lawyerly things and uh, doing law jobs and stuff before going to law school and trying to learn about it and how it worked in practice still just didn't prepare me for how it actually is. So yeah, that's another thing. Additionally, the job market, as you probably know, is not that great for attorneys. You're not going to make big law money, and big law jobs are very difficult to get unless you go to certain schools, have certain grades, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't want to go to big law. I wanted to go into the government, and I don't know how familiar other people are with this, but with the new administration, the government and government jobs have changed quite a bit. And I spent like my entire law school career wanting to go into government and work for the government. And literally right before I got my bar results and got officially licensed, you know, the government kind of flipped out, and yeah, my dreams went down the drain. So I didn't really have a backup, and there's not a lot of great jobs, and even the jobs that exist are not always great paying. A lot of them require a lot of experience, and it's hard to, get that experience because all of them require experience. So, the job market's not great, and the pay is not great either. Again, not that I need the pay, but if, I figure if I'm gonna work, I better make it worth my while, because us not needing money makes me just kind of be like, if I'm working, it has to be worth it, right? Either financially, or I have to be doing something where I feel like I'm making a difference, or I am doing something I love. And I've been looking for 2 years. I do have my own law firm, and that's, the best thing ever. Highly, highly recommend solo practice. But in terms of like side jobs that I've tried to get and stuff, it has been a nightmare. And I've talked about my one job experience that was really bad. But, beyond that, just, it's been a bust, right? And then finally, what is, kind of what switched it for me, other than the government changing and everything and my dream job going down the toilet, was after taking the bar, but before getting my results, I fostered a baby. I've talked about that on this channel. I do want to talk about my foster story at some point. I promise I will at some point. It's just need to find the right time and everything. But I did want kids, but I wanted to adopt older kids. Not older, but, like 2 to 5, I would say, that could kind of function on their own. And never wanted a baby because I didn't think I could do it with my health issues, and then also didn't want to get pregnant. And then I got that foster baby, and I absolutely fell in love with being a mom, and that's all I wanted to do. And, maybe that was God trying to tell me, hey, this is your purpose for at least right now, because it was really good timing. I did all the things to become an attorney, and then I got this baby, and the government, flipped out. And so I lost that dream job, and I applied for it, and they basically wrote me back, and they're like, this job no longer exists. So all those things happened at once, and I just realized how much more I loved being a mom than an attorney, and it's the best job on earth, and I'm so, so excited to be a mom again. Yeah, and that's what I want to focus on. I would much rather, especially being so blessed financially to not need to work, I would so much rather be at home to raise my kids, and make that my full-time job than, being an attorney. Because, like I kind of talked about in this video, it's not quite as grand. So yeah, that's the reasons why I regret becoming an attorney a little bit longer than I planned. But thank you so much for watching. Bye.